Hello and welcome to my video on surface area of other composite objects. This is topic 1.4 in the Math Makes Sense textbook. Okay, we're going to look at two different questions here. Our first question is a little bit of a word problem, and then you'll take a look at it. Before painting the outside of a house, you are asked to give a quote for how much it would cost. If the paint covers 100 square meters for one coat and 1 gallon, and each gallon costs $45, how much would you have to spend to do the proper 2 coats on a house with the dimensions below? Okay, so we have our house here, and we need to figure out basically what are the composite objects that make up the house. And so we have a crude drawing by myself, but basically there are 2 shapes together that make the house. One is the rectangular prism, and number 2, which we're going to have to erase this part here to get it. Number 2 is the triangular prism that makes up the roof. Now, luckily for us, well, I don't know if it's luckily, but the roof parts don't need paint, right? On this side and on the other side. They don't need paint. So, we aren't going to be focusing on those, but we do need to find the area of this triangle here. So we need to find that triangle, and then all the different sides of our house. Okay, so first things first, let's find all of the sides of the rectangle. So we have, let's call it front, back, right side. I'll just write right, left, and so we have those 4 sides on our rectangle. Whoopsies. So we have 25 meters here. That's how wide it is. 30 meters long. 3 meters high. But then we know it's a total of 5 meters up. Which means that for our triangle, if we're splitting it up into 2 different right angle triangles, right? 2 different right angle triangles, that height there is going to be 5 meters minus the 3 meters from before. So total of 2 meters. I don't know how realistic this house is. I kind of just made it up, but the numbers are good. So 2 meters high for that part. So anyways, we have all our dimensions. So that's important. But let's find the front, back, right, and left sides of the rectangular prism part. So the front would be 25 times by 3 meters high. The back would be the same, 25 times by 3 meters. The right would be 30 times by 3. The left would be 30 times by 3. So let's add those up. Going across. We have 75, 75, 90, 90. And now we have to do our 2 triangle sides, which are both going to be the same. So we're just going to say, well, let's just do one side at a time, remembering how to do the area of a triangle. So area of a triangle is the formula length times height divided by 2. In this case, our length is going to be the bottom 25. So, oopsies again. This bottom here, this bottom side here is 25, as we showed before. So, our length is 25 times our height, which is the 2 meters from before, divided by 2. So, 25 times 2, 50, divided by 2, gives us 25. Again. So 25, but we have 2 of those triangles. We have one on this side, and we have one on this other side. Right? So we have double that. And so when we're adding it all together to find the area of the entire house, the surface area of the entire house, we're going to add all of our numbers together. 75 plus 75 plus 90 plus 90 plus our two triangles, 25 plus 25. Perfect. So this is our surface area of the entire house, the part that we're going to be painting. Okay. Now there's the roof, there's the ground. We're not using those, but other than that, that's everything. So now let's add all those together. 75 plus 75, 150. This is sort of how I add in my head. 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 0. So 90 plus 90 equals 180. And 25 plus 25 is 50. Now I go one further. 150 plus 50. Let's do that. That's easier. 200 plus 180. 380 is our surface area. Okay. Now, on a normal question, we'd be done, but this is a word question. So we actually have a little bit more to do here. This is meters squared. So we have a little bit more to do. It says, if the paint covers 100 square meters for one coat in 1 gallon, and each gallon costs $45, how much would you have to spend to do the proper 2 coats on a house? So we have to do 2 coats. So this surface area, actually, we have to double it. So times 2 equals 760. Okay? So that's how many square meters it is. And if 1 gallon covers 100, then we need to actually buy 8 gallons of paint. You can't buy 60% of a gallon. So this, we actually need 8 gallons. Which means, coming back to our, coming back to our cost, it's $45 times the number of gallons, 8 gallons, and now we have to do this, which is 5 times 8 is 40, excuse me, 40 plus 4 times 8 is 32. There you go. So we add those together, and there's our number. So this is how much the paint would cost for our house. Now looking at the next question, so remembering that this topic has triangular prisms like this, and now it has cylinders like this. So this next question is really simple, but we would make it more complicated in questions or on a test by putting a cylinder against something else, adding it to something. So let's just do this so we have the right idea of how to do a cylinder. First of all, we have to remember area of a circle. The formula is pi r squared. And now the area of like the whole side of the cylinder, so that's like all the way around this part, all the way around, all the way this way. The area of that part, the surface area of that, I'm going to call area of the side. Okay? And it's basically the perimeter formula, which you may or may not remember, but that is 2 pi r, and then times by the distance that it goes this way. Okay? So 2 pi r, and sometimes we have h, sometimes we have l. Now, with the numbers, we're going to have to find all the different sides. So we have a circle here that we need to add, plus a circle here. So we need to do two circle formulas. So to do surface area of cylinder, we add 2 area of the circle, so pi r squared, plus pi r squared plus, and then the area of the side, 2 pi r L. Okay? Now, to do some substitution here, now when we want to get rid of the r's and the l's, I'm going to use different colors. So instead of r, I'm going to write a 2, 2, 2, and instead of the L, I'm going to write a 10. No, wait, what do I have? I'm just making these numbers up. I have completely different numbers. 3, 3, 3, and the 12. So the rest of it would stay the same. Pi, and then there's the squared, plus pi squared, plus 2 pi, and then multiplied. So hopefully you see that the blue numbers come from the blue numbers over here. Okay? They're not coming out of thin air, they're just coming from over there. So we have to now do bedmass. So bedmass brackets, we don't have any of those. Then exponents. So we have pi, but our exponent, so 3 times 3 is 9, plus pi, 3 times 3 is 9, plus, and now we can multiply all these together. 2 times 3 is 6, times 12, this is going to be a little bit of work, 6 times 12, 72. 72 pi. Okay, and we're doing this without a calculator, which is good because then we can leave pi in the end. And so I just want to mention something here. I'm going to move 9 in front of the pi because this is how we normally see numbers, so 72 pi. Now, 1 times 2, this is a rule, is the same thing as 2 times 1. So multiplication is, I believe the word is commutable. So we can flip the 2 and it doesn't matter. So that's all I'm doing with this. Pi 9 is the same thing as 9 pi. Just that this one is the more common way of writing it mathematically. And when we have it all the same, we can see that we can just add the front numbers, the coefficients. So 9 plus 9, 18, plus 72, we have 90 pi. And there is the surface area of our cylinder. Hope that video helped, and good luck on the quiz.